Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don with you early on your Wednesday morning, January 25th, 2023. Just going to do a quick update for you this morning. We'll have the primetime forecast out for you here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. But we've got some heavy rain and some gusty winds moving through East Alabama and about to move into West Georgia. So I thought I'd jump in here and give you a quick update this morning. As we're looking at it live at about 3:48 a.m. Central, 4:48 a.m. Eastern. And you can see basically just heavy rainfall across East Alabama and moving into West Georgia. Pockets of very heavy rainfall up there across Cleburne County, Calhoun, down into Talladega, Clay, Randolph, over into Carroll and Hurd. Just now moving into Troup County. Heavy rain across Chambers. And then down there in Tallapoosa and maybe southeastern Clay, we have a gust front with some heavier wind and very, very heavy rainfall. The good news is that narrow band of very heavy rainfall won't last very long, and currently it stretches from about Mountain City in Clay County down to maybe Davidston, and then on down to around Dadeville, and then it stretches on into southern Tallapoosa County down to around Reeltown and Tallahassee. That's where the absolute heaviest of this is. Then it trails on off to the south and southwest down into southeastern Elmore County and eastern Montgomery County. So just probing this, we're seeing some pretty heavy rainfall, maybe even some hail involved in this, and then we're also looking at some wind gust as we switch over to our velocity product. We're talking wind gust at the surface, maybe around 20 miles per hour, occasionally gusting to 25 or 30. But most of this is behaving this morning. We were expecting winds of 30 to 40 miles per hour. And while we still cannot rule out that possibility, as you can see on the screen there, most of the wind that we find in this gust front is in the 20 mile per hour range, which is certainly strong. I mean, it's very windy out there this morning. And because the ground is completely saturated, we could see a few trees come down, which you know what happens when trees fall. We start to have power outages, so that is possible. Not a whole lot this morning in the way of thunder and lightning, though there are a few strikes out there on the radar this morning down in Chambers County. We've just had a couple of lightning strikes there, one down there around Reeltown in southern Tallapoosa County as well. And then a few strokes of lightning over here in Hurd County in the last couple of minutes also. As we zoom out to kind of give you the big overall picture, you see this line of storms moving into East Alabama. The severe weather has been limited to extreme South Alabama and northwest Florida. We did have several tornado warnings this morning back over in the Mobile area. Since that time, though, all of the warnings and advisories have been severe thunderstorm warnings and special weather statements for the southern end of this line. I'll switch over right quick to the composite so you can kind of get an overall picture of what we're looking at this morning. And there you go. If you have interest down there in South Alabama, that's where the severe weather threat is this morning. South Alabama, northwest Florida. Eventually, that'll make it over into southern Georgia. But we have a nasty line of thunderstorms now approaching Fort Walton Beach, Florida, and then that stretches all the way out into the Gulf of Mexico. So we only have one severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect now, and that's going to be for the greater Fort Walton Beach area up to around Crestview, and then that special weather statement up there around Andalusia, Alabama. And then as you come further north, the severity level drops off considerably, and then we just have that narrow band of gusty winds and heavy rainfall now about to move toward Tuskegee. Eventually, we'll make it over here to Auburn. Has just moved through the Alexander City area now. It's coming up on Dadeville. That will eventually make it over into Chambers County also. And then up here across Randolph and Clay, just moderate to occasional heavy showers and a few gusty winds from time to time. So it's not going to be a good ride this morning anywhere across East Alabama and West Georgia, especially if you're traveling from Montgomery to maybe Atlanta on I-85. You're going to run through that band of heavy rain and gusty winds. Again, the good news is it's not very wide, so it won't last long at all once it moves through your particular area. So just a quick update for you this morning. Again, we will have the primetime forecast, which will take you through the remainder of the day and into the rest of this week. Now, as all of this moves out today, we're going to go partly cloudy probably by noon. And certainly this afternoon, it's going to continue to be breezy all day long. And then tonight, as the backside of the wraparound moisture makes it into East Alabama and West Georgia, well after midnight toward daybreak tomorrow morning, we could have a few sprinkles that could potentially be mixed with a little light snow. No accumulation anticipated. You know the MO. We've been through this several times already this season. Today's event's going to be exactly the same. Maybe a flurry or two toward daybreak tomorrow morning, continuing through about 7 or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then we get well above freezing tomorrow, and all of that is gone. So if you see a snowflake or two by about this time tomorrow morning, Thursday morning, don't be completely shocked. It's not going to be a big deal. This is not the type of a system we need to get a good snow across East Alabama or West Georgia. We are watching a system toward the end of the weekend, first part of next week, that will bring us yet another round of very heavy storms and potentially a little light snow on the backside of it. Again, doesn't look like a major snowmaker for East Alabama, but yeah, that's several days out, so we're going to have to watch that real close as we move forward. Again, I'll have your primetime forecast up for you in just a few moments. This has been a quick update for you this morning just to show you that there is no real major threat of severe weather across East Alabama and West Georgia. Just a lot of heavy rain this morning with that gust front that's moving into about to move out of Tallapoosa into Chambers and then into Lee and then maybe up there into southern Randolph as well, where you could have a couple of quick wind gusts of up to 25, 30 miles per hour, which could bring down a few trees and power lines. But other than that, the severe threat is limited to extreme South Alabama and Northwest Florida this morning. Thanks for joining us. This has been a weather update for you this morning from Dr. Don's Weather.